Hello, hi everyone, how's it going? And welcome back to episode 5. I can't believe it, we're here. We're at the final episode. This has absolutely flown by. So I guess before we even get started, thank you very much to all of our people who have been watching us from the beginning, but also a massive welcome to anyone that, if this is your first one, big up to everyone who's looking on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever it is that you might be watching us from. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for being with us for all these. We've got a awesome workshop today that we're going to be going through where we're going to be creating a 2-player game. But before we jump into delivering all that, as usual, we have 2 people with us today. I have Ian doing all the digital wizardry behind the scenes. Here's Ian. Oh, no, he's not. There he
Wasn't quite ready. I'm ready now.
How's it going, Ian?
Yeah, we're not too bad. I am looking forward to a jam-packed show today. Kind of sad, a little bit.
Yeah.
That it's the last one, but maybe we've got a bit of news about that later on.
We'll see. We've always got something up our sleeve. And of course, as well as Ian, we are joined by the fabulous Nikki from Halton Libraries. How's it going, Nikki?
Oh, it's going well. Yeah, I hope I'll be able to keep up with the session a bit better this week. I did lose it a little bit at one point.
I'm sure. So we're going to be looking at 2-player games, but obviously Nikki is from the library, and the libraries are continuing to develop what they offer and how they can support people during this lockdown and coming out of lockdown, but not quite in lockdown, and no one knows quite what all the rules are anymore. But so do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, or what the library have been up to, or what you'd like to kind of focus on this week?
Right, well, we are continuing with our click and collect service in Halton. So if you drop us an email or message us on Twitter or Facebook with what kind of books you like, then we will get you some lovely books together which you can collect from Halton Library. And just a reminder to any kids, the Summer Reading Challenge has started on the Reading Agency website. If you go on there, you can sign up, you can choose how many books you want to read for your challenge, and you can follow all the activities of the Silly Squad. In Halton, the Summer Reading Challenge will start on the 6th of July. And keep an eye open on our social media because we'll be having loads of activities for you to join.
Fantastic. I know that Hazelhurst Studio said that they're going to be doing some bits and bobs, so they look interesting as well. So I look forward to seeing everything else that goes out there. We're going to do a little bit with the Summer Reading Challenge as well, but we'll save that for another podcast / live broadcast, I think, because I know that everyone here will be desperate to get into doing some coding. So I'll tell you what we'll do as well. We'll get some shout outs. So if you want to have a little bit of shout out, as always, just let us know who's watching, where you are, what you're going to be doing today and things like that, and Ian will keep a track, and if any catches eye, we might have a readout of some of those as we are going through it. But to start with, let's start by creating our new project. So as always, we are going to need to go to the Arcade website, which is arcade.makecode.com. Fantastic. It's up on the screen. I think Ian's popping it up on the screen. There it is. So if we go to there, and I'm sure you'll all have it bookmarked now or whatever, but if it's the first time you come in here, this is a cool website. It's completely free of charge, and it's made by Microsoft, and it's a nice way of being able to get your code on for free. You don't even need to make an account or anything like that. So head yourself over there, and once you're over there, you'll be able to create new projects and things like that. Ian, would it be possible to get my screen on so people can see what I'm doing? Brilliant. Okay, so cool. Up here, and all we need to do to make a new website is click on this new project, not a website, new game. Click on this new project here and give it a name. So I'm going to make a 2-player game today, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little bit of background on the type of game that we're going to be making. So this is inspired by a game that used to be played quite a lot like that. It was called Dino Run, and it kind of put a dinosaur on the screen. It had to jump over obstacles as it was running towards it. It was a really simple, really fun game. There's been loads of this style of games, so I don't think Google were the first ones to come up with it, but that's where I remember it from. And there's also a kind of more advanced version of it called Bunny Hop on the MakeCode templates and things like that, so you can have a look at this one. But I think I'm going to call this 2-player jump. I'm going to put a capital in there, but it doesn't really matter what you call it for now, as long as you know what your type of game is. And I'm going to click on create. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got our regular starting point here, and oh, look how small my on start is. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see what's going on. I must have had a big piece of code open the last time I was on it if I've made it that small. And what we're going to do just straight off the bat is I'm going to make my character straight away. So I know that we've done this pretty much every time, so a lot of you might know what we're doing, but we're going to jump into Sprites, the very top one, and we're going to have a go at creating one. So the very top one, set my sprite, and this time I'm actually going to make my sprite myself. I think I might have done this in the first game, but I done a few different suggestions and bits and bobs like that. But I think I'm going to have a go at making my sprite me this time. So I'm going to rename my sprite to Sean. So I'm going to rename that variable. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to make a new variable. You could rename it, but I'm just going to make a new one and call it Sean. Yeah, like that. And I'm going to have a go at drawing myself. So while I'm designing myself in this pixel art studio, maybe if we have a cut back to Ian, if there's been any shout outs or any questions or anything like that up to now, or yeah, maybe just shout outs, whatever.
Yeah, so we've got a shout out to Benjamin Pratt. This is, I'm gonna guess it's maybe Mum. It's from Claire Pratt. Claire Pratt just saying he's loved all the sessions and they've really inspired him to create, to be creative on his computer, and that is fantastic to hear. And I think it's kind of been echoed by a lot of people. We've had a lot of, I know that I've had people speaking to me personally and stuff, so that's so amazing to hear if that's been your experience with what we've done with you, that it's been engaging, you've learned something new, and that you've sat at your computer and not just played, but you've actually created some stuff, so that's amazing. Shout out to Isla, who is 7 and on the Wirral. And somebody is already asking who won. You're going to have to stick to the end to figure that out.
Yeah.
So that's all from Facebook. Let's just have a little look on YouTube, see. Everybody's just getting busy on YouTube, just making, I think. Got some shout outs from people from our hometown, which is Widnes. That's where MakoCreate is based, Widnes in Cheshire, but this is going out to the world. So from wherever you are right now, let us know, say hi in the comments, and later on we might have a little shout out. We got another one, Edwin, age 7. Lovely sessions. It's the only lesson he's done through all of lockdown, so that's
nice.
Kind of nice to hear.
Yeah, it's nice. Hopefully, hopefully you're still getting a decent education as well, not just listening to what we've got to say. Let's have a quick look. How am I getting on? So this is me so far. I've given myself a bit of a big head, true to form, and it's something that I quite like doing with a lot of my characters. I think you can do it easily within pixel art. Things don't have to be exactly to scale. You can kind of make things look a little bit bigger than other things. I've decided to make my head look quite big. A lot of people do that with the designs within pixel art, and I've decided to draw my character this time. I want it to look like I was kind of sideways rather than straight at the camera, because I'm going to be running, or not running but jumping, and kind of like things are going to be coming at me from one way. I've decided that I want to have my character facing sideways. That's why my kind of legs, I'm not trying to do a stardom, I'm trying to make it look like I'm facing to the right. So I'm going to draw a little beard on mine. Let's have a quick look. There you go. A little bit lower here. And I'm pretty happy with that. What do you reckon, Ian?
Yeah, that looks pretty good to me.
Yes, fantastic. All right, yeah. Maybe my legs are a little bit. I think I've got skinny jeans on there, a little bit skinny on the old legs. Maybe I might thicken them up a little bit. Look like I've got fleurs on now. For those of you that don't know what fleurs are, ask your parents. Big bottom trousers. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add one more blue, a couple of blues. Yeah, I might delete them ones down there in the middle. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I'll accept that. Like I've got high heels on. There you go. Let's get rid of them. Yeah, I'll have that. That'll do for me. So I'm quite happy with the character that I've designed by myself with pixel art. Oh, actually, I'm gonna a little bit of white there for the Mako on the top, maybe. There you go. Yeah. So we definitely know which way I'm facing. And I'm gonna click done. And I've got my character, and he should appear, there he is, right in the middle of my screen. And I'm going to add in a tile map now, a little bit like we've done for the last week when we were doing the mazes. Sorry, we were doing the Corgio last week, weren't we? No extensions this week, so fingers crossed, no unexpected errors in my code. But we're going to be using, so we're going to design everything else from scratch today without having any extensions, but I'm still going to use a tile map. So to do that, I go to Scene and scroll down to Set Tile Map. And I'm going to put this as the first thing in my code. So set my tile map. And what I'm just doing here is adding it so that I've got a flaw in there. Oh, actually, I have got an error in there. How strange. My code does not like me adding tile maps in it at the moment. Let me see if I change the position of that. I had to jinx it, didn't I, Ian, by saying I'm not going to have any tile maps in there. Let me get rid of all my other codes in there and stuff like that and make sure that I've got everything in there. In fact, Ian, just while I have a quick look at seeing if I can get this sorted, do you want to, we got a fantastic picture from our winner from last week who submitted, who got the arcade design from Kicktronic. Yeah, I'll jump over to Ian while I try and fix it.
So, as you probably already know, that every week we run a competition from the games that have come through last week, and there will be another one this week, and Sean will go through. So don't worry about asking how you submit and who's won and that kind of thing. We'll cover that at the end. But the winner from last week, which was a Benjamin Hornby, very kindly sent over this fantastic photo of, there is Ben, and that in his hand is the fantastic prize that he won. So he can now do everything from this session that Sean's going through with you now, and when he is finished, he can upload his game to his device right there and play it with like physical buttons. So it's kind of really cool. So you're not just playing it on your keyboard on your computer. It kind of looks a little bit like old school kind of Game Boy, or like a really small Switch kind of setup. And we've had quite a few people that I know have been saying like, oh, I really hope I can win, I really hope I can win. If you don't win, then you can buy them from Kicktronic, and they are not a lot of money. Is the RIP on them £30-ish, Sean?
I think they're about £35, yeah.
So,
when doing it.
You know, if you have been enjoying everything that we've gone through with you, and it is something that you are genuinely like excited about, is coding and making games and being creative with pixel art and that kind of stuff, then maybe if you are very good, you get tidy in your room and behaving yourself and things like that, then, you know, maybe birthdays or Christmas is a bit far away, isn't it? But you know, it's not crazy money, so 30 odd quid, and it's something that you can build on what you've learned and, you know, start playing with your games as if it was like actually on a real console that you can hold in your hands. So that's pretty cool. So well done to Benjamin there, and like I said, there will be another competition that we will run for this week, the last week, week 5. So Sean's going to run through how to submit your games and the links and everything like that a little bit later on.
Yes.
How are you getting on, Sean?
I'm back.
You're back. You're back in
I'm
business.
back in the game. Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
okay.
So let me bring us back to where I was there. So here's my character and my tile map. I believe that Paul was saying last week that error sometimes comes with tile maps when you've got more than one tab open and things like that. I think I might be getting it because I'm kind of sharing my screen and things like that and lots of different operations on. So hopefully no one else is getting that error, but I've managed to get it fixed by just opening a new game and putting it in there. So I've got my tile map in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this grey box to edit it. And the first thing that I did in this one, Ian, could you just jump me to the other side of the screen?
I can.
Thank you very much. Just because what we're looking at here is in the bottom left hand corner. So what I've done in this tile map to make it fill the whole screen is I've changed the ratio and I've changed it to 10 to 8. I think it's 16 by 16 at the beginning when you first open it. And by putting it 10x and 8y, that basically fills the whole screen by default of our game. So I'm not, with this game that I'm making, I don't need to be going further afield or anywhere like that. I just want it to stick on the actual place that I'm doing. And you might have seen here at the very bottom of it. So to change these numbers, you can just click in there and edit it. But you can see here at the bottom, I've added a road, and you can do that just by going into miscellaneous, I think, and then going a couple of pages down in the tiles. Yeah, here we go. We've got buttons and lava and roads, and I just use this one here at the very bottom. Just click on that, and you can just drag that in and draw your road in. There you go. Put it like that. I actually don't want the road there. I just want a road at the bottom of mine. So I'm gonna delete this. I just use the erase tool there and deleted it. And once I've got my road in, yours doesn't have to be a road. It could be anything from any of the other ones. It could be a tile that you've designed yourself. It's completely up to you. I'm going to use a road because I'm going to save a little bit of time, something that's pre-made. And I'm going to make it into a wall. So I want my character to not be able to go through this road. I want my character to stand on top of the road. So I'm going to click on the wall. So it's got this red button selected here. And then just draw over the top. Oh, I've still got erase selected here, so I need to change that to my pencil. Draw over the top of it. Ta-da. And that means that my character will not be able to go through the path there. So once I've done that, in the bottom right hand corner, again, sorry, and I'm just making it as awkward as possible for you today, but in the bottom right corner there is a done button. And once we just, all we have to do is click on that done button like that there, and that will show us our positioning. So the next thing I want to do is position myself, and I want to make myself sure that I start on the road, but I want to be kind of in the bottom left hand corner. So I'm currently in the middle of the screen, and what I want to make sure is my character starts at the bottom left hand corner, because what I'm going to have is something, an object, a projectile coming at me from the other side that I'm going to try and jump over. So I need to set my positioning right so that I'm jumping over the right row. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into scene, and I can place my character on a specific tile. I'm sure that some of you might remember doing bits like this when we were doing the maze game, but if we put this one in, so it's place my sprite on top of column 0, row 0. I can drag this one in, and automatically that'll pop me in the top left corner, I think. Oh no, oh, I tell you why it's not. We can see the little arrow coming up here. It's because it's got my sprite here. I need to change that to Sean. And we can see that suddenly gone into the top corner, because that is column 0, row 0, so I'm in the top left hand corner. So to find out the exact location that I want my character to go, I'm going to jump back into the tile map, and I know that I want my character to be here, just above the road. And again, Ian, just to be dead awkward, I'm now in the other corner.
Do you know what I'm going to do, especially for you, Sean? I'm going to pop you up
oh
there.
wow, look at that. So brilliant. So I can see that next to the 10 and the 8 that we set our screen size to, we've got two other coordinates, and that is the row and column. So that is the X and Y value. So if I move this around, we can see that it changes as I'm moving my cursor around. That number in the bottom left hand corner is changing. Right in the bottom left, I want to be 0.6 for mine. So I'm going to go done. And I'm going to just pop in the zeros already selected for the first one. And then row 6. And that is me. I'm stood on the road and I'm where I want to be. And I've got it all, I've got it all in position and ready to go. And so what I want to do now is I want to give my person the ability to jump. So a bit different to all the other games in this. I'm not going to be running around or moving left and right or anything like that. I just want to give my character the chance to jump so he can try and jump over any obstacles that are coming towards him. So we've got to think about how we're going to do that. So we've made things move in the past by using things like velocity and acceleration, and that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing I want to do is get it so when I press button A, my character jumps up into the air. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my controller and have an on button A pressed in here. And so this means that when I press the A button, my character is going to jump. Hopefully, I've got to write the code for it first. So what I'm going to do is change the velocity of my character. That's what we've used to make it move around and things like that in the past. So what we're going to do is go into my sprites, and it actually doesn't have a default block for this. It's set up and it doesn't look quite as we're going to make it. So what we want to do is we want to drag in the one that says set X. So this one below this, not change, sorry, but set X to 0. So if we drag this one in, we don't want to set the X to 0 because that will just actually move our character around. But what we've got inside this, let me make it Sean to begin with. But what we want to do is change this X. So it's got a little drop down in it. So we click on this, we can change lots of different things. And to make our characters jump, we're going to have to use both velocity and acceleration. But let's start with the velocity. So I'm going to change my velocity. I'm not looking X velocity would make it move left and right, but we want to move up and down. So we're looking at Y. So change that to Vy, which is our velocity in the Y direction. And because we're going to be jumping up, we need to be going minus. I know that doesn't sound like it's going to make sense, but as we go down our screen, our Y value goes up. So to make it go up, we need the Y value to come down. So it's the opposite way around. So I'm going to pop in let's maybe put in minus 100. Okay, let's play our game. So I've got my game now. If I press the A button, what happens? Oh, there my character goes, and he kind of just gets stuck at the very top of it because I've got my tile mat, so he's not able to go off it. But what's my problem with my jump? I don't know about you, Ian, but normally when I jump, I don't normally stay in the air for that long. I want to make sure that I'm able to come down.
Yeah, I can't fly. No,
I'm not Michael Jordan, so I can't hover in the air for that long. So what we need to do is we actually need to have a little bit of gravity affecting Sean. So otherwise, he'll just stay up there. So if I refresh my game and bring him so he's back down to earth, what I'm going to do this time is use the same bit of code. So the set X to 0. I'm going to drag that one in here on the on start. Let me drag that a bit down. I'm going to need to change it to Sean again. So just remembering at the moment I'm making this I should point out that I'm making a one player game at the moment because I just have one player in there. What my plan is I'm going to make it a one player, get it all right for one player, and then switch it into a 2-player version of the game. So don't be worried if you're thinking, where's the second player? He'll be coming later on. So at the moment, now I've set this Sean, I need to change this X. And this time we're going to use instead of using velocity, because velocity kind of just starts at one speed and just sticks like that. But that's not actually how gravity works. You'd be falling faster towards the ground. You'd slowly stop going up and then you'd start going down. So instead of using velocity, we're actually going to use acceleration Y, so AY. And let's think, what number should we put this in for? I'll tell you what, we'll just have a bit of an experiment with it. Let's start with 100 and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so we've got our game. If I press the A button now, I jump up and then I've come back down again. Not too bad, not too bad. A little bit, I'd say it's a little bit moonwalking-y, not very kind of realistic in terms of how quickly you'd fall to the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase this number here, maybe double that, 200. Okay, and we can see that my character isn't getting anywhere near as far now off the ground with that one, because the acceleration on the down is fighting against the velocity going up, and he's not getting as far high up and he falls a bit quicker now. That might be okay. That what you can do though in yours is really have a play around with these two numbers, and you can get your jump to be as moon-like or as realistic as you want it to be. You might be setting your game on the moon, so you might want to have moon jumps. It's completely up to you. So now I've got a character that can jump. I want to set up my projectile, so I want to make sure that I've got something that is coming at my character from across the screen that I've got to try and avoid. So let's have a look at doing that. Oh, I tell you what, as we're adding a new bit here, I'll just see if there have been any questions or anyone would like me to go over anything again here, or do we feel like we're all okay at the moment?
We have got one question over on YouTube at the moment, just with somebody saying that the tile map is black for some reason. I'm just wondering whether that sounds like a one-off or it's something that you've experienced, Sean.
I've not experienced that at the moment. I've not put a background in anything on mine, so I'm guessing they mean the little grey box is black that they've got in there. I think if there is an image section here where you can actually drag a new one of these in, so you can, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to ruin my code, but you can drag a new one of those in there, and that might fix the issue that you're having with it, and that puts in a blank one that you then able to edit. That might fix it, but I've not actually come across that one myself. I had an issue then with mine at the beginning. That's why Ian did some world-class filling while I started my project again. It might just be worth checking. Make sure you've got no other projects open in any other tabs. That can sometimes confuse tile maps and things like that as you go in. I had to kind of load up a fresh one then to get rid of the error on mine. So yes, that's unfortunately I don't have a perfect answer, but hopefully one of those things might sort it out for the person who's been having it. Cool. All right, well, obviously, and as always, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to shoot them at me whenever we get a second, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. So we're going to have a look at getting our projectiles now to come and fire at us. So we're going to do it a slightly different way than we did it. If you remember back in episode 2, we did bad guys and we had them flying at us from the right hand side of the screen. We're going to do something a bit like that, but we're going to do it a different way. Instead of making a sprite and getting it to come that way, I'm going to actually just make this a projectile that flies in from the right hand side of the screen. So to do that, what we're going to do is this second one down, which is on game update. And if I keep this at every 500 milliseconds, that means that one will be coming at me every half a second, but I think that's a little bit too quick. So what I'm going to do is change that to 2 seconds. So I'm going to bring that down to 2 seconds there, and you can still see that it says it in milliseconds. So 2000 milliseconds is the same as 2 seconds. And what we're going to do is this time jump into sprites, Oops, I'm going to zoom out a little bit actually so we can see the whole menu properly. There we go. And this time I'm going to go down to projectiles. There we are. And we've used this one before when we were getting our character to shoot bits and bobs and missiles and stuff like that, but we're actually going to use this first one here, which gets the projectile to fly in from one of the sides. So I'm going to drag this in. And I am going to keep it as a projectile. That seems fine to me. No need to rename it, I don't think, though. No need to rename the variable. I'm quite happy with that. I know what that is. And I'm going to change the design. And this time, because I'm being a little bit lazy, I'm just going to use the stuff from the gallery just to make sure that we can save a little bit of time. And let's have a quick look at what we've got in here. So the galleries, I quite like using the gallery when I'm coming up with something that I want to have in there, but I'm not going to keep it forever. I'm just going to use it to kind of make sure that it works okay. So I might make my game with something from the gallery and then go back and change it. I don't know if they've got any cars in here. Shark, maybe a Mako shark coming at me. Ooh, let's see, what should I go with? Oh, I'll tell you what, I've got a car. Perfect. I've got a road, so I'm going to have a car coming at me. Yeah, I'm going to use this red car, I think. That will do me. I'm going to click on done. And oh, as we can see, that kind of like flies in on a diagonal at the moment. So what we need to do is make it, we don't want it coming in from over there. What we want is that to fly in from this side and go right to left. So we need to do some changing of these values. So the first thing I'm going to get rid of is the Y, because I don't want it flying up or down at all. I want it going straight across. And so what I'm going to do now is change this to a minus number. So let's change this to say minus 100 maybe. Let's see what that looks like. Minus 100. I've used a scale here, but you can actually just type it in that box if you want to. So I've changed mine to minus 100. Let's see what happens to my game when I've done that. Refresh. There, oh, we can see it there flying across the top of the screen. So it's flying across the top of the screen. So what I want to do is just make sure that it's flying, because I want it to be right here at the bottom so that I can try and jump over it. So to do that, what I need to do is change its position. So I'm going to go back into my scene and I'm going to go to place, which is a little bit further down. Here we go. And we've got place my stripe on top of column. And so I'm going to pop that in there. And what I need to just find out again is what location it is that I want it to appear. So I'm going to go back to my tile map, give it a click, move this, oh fantastic, top right corner, I'm not in the way anywhere, to the bottom right corner just above the road. And I can see that there in the bottom left hand corner it's telling me now that that is 9.6. So I can click on done. So I'm going to go back over here, change this to 9 and this one to 6, and hopefully, oh, it's not working because I've not changed the name here. It's still called my Sprite, so I need to change that to projectile. There it is. I jump, hey. I've got a projectile coming at me and I've got a character that can jump over it. So what I need to do now though is make it so that something happens if the car hits me, because at the moment it's hitting me but I'm completely fine. So I need to make sure that that has a I could either do, there's a few things we could do. We could look at lives or we could look at scores and things, but I think for now I'm going to keep it nice and easy. I'm just going to say if that projectile hits me, it's game over. So let me stop that so it's not going on in the background. So to do that, we go into sprites and we'll go into overlaps. So again, we've used this a couple of times on different games and we're going to drag it in and we're saying on sprite of kind player. So I can see that that is me, Sean. I'm a sprite and I am a player. Overlaps with other sprite of kind player. So this is the bit that we need to change, because it's not if I hit another player, it's if I hit a projectile. So I need to change this last bit here, because the car's not a player, it's a projectile. So I'm going to change that down to projectile, and I need to add in the end game, because I'm just going to have a game over or get hit by it. So let's go into game, and third one down, game over. Drag this in and I lose. Let's have a quick look how I'm getting on. Refresh that. I'm going to try and jump over it a few times. Lovely. If I hit it, nightmare. Game over. Okay, so I've got roughly my game there. I'll tell you what I'll do though as well, just so I've got a bit of a kind of like, so I know what's going on. I'm going to add in a scoring element to it, so I can know what I'm scoring. So I'm going to go into info, and I can change my score. It's the fourth one down, change score. And what I'm going to do is every time it spawns a projectile, I'm going to give myself 10 points, so that I am scoring points the longer that I stay away from my projectiles. So let's have another quick play of it here and see how I'm getting on. Nice. Okay, I feel like I'm getting there. I'm starting to get to grips with it. I die. I've got 60 points. But there is a hack for these games at the moment. I don't know if any of you might have, anyone that's following along might have realised what the hack is, or what you can do to kind of get away from it and definitely be able to do it forever. But at the moment, we've got it so that if we press the A button, oh, look at my character. I can jump in the air. So a lot of games sometimes have double jump, but in this game at the moment, I've got it so that I can jump forever. I can just stay there.
Sean, special shout out then, because some people have been asking that question.
Ah, fantastic.
And I'll let you guess, Sean. Who do you think's come to the rescue in the chat?
Oh, Tig.
Yeah,
Tig.
So we've had the question, should we make it so that they only jump when on the floor, which is obviously what Sean has just covered. Am I allowed to say this, Sean? Let's steal your thunder.
You can. It'd be interesting to see, because I think one of the interesting things about coding is there are lots of different ways of doing the same thing. So I'm really interested to hear how they thought about doing it, because I might have come up with a way of doing it that is different to how they were going to do it. So yeah, go on, tell us how they're going to do it, and then if it's the same, I'll show everyone how I got onto doing it.
All right. Well, Tag has suggested there's a fix for that. The if block. Use the if block and the tile, which is tile under player is whatever, and you can choose. And then he said choose the floor.
Oh, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I probably didn't do his explanation.
No, I bet he's got it. That is very similar to how I would do it. So he's probably said it exactly how I'm going to do it. But you can tell us in the comments, Tag, if this is how you were saying to do it. So exactly, very similar start at least. So I was trying to figure out the best way of doing it, and I think this is the best way. But actually, the other thing with coding as well is there's lots of different ways of doing things. So someone might find a better way of doing it, but I'm going to do it by using an if block, as Ty said. So inside logic, and so these are really clever pieces of code that say, not this. You're allowed to do things like saying this doesn't happen absolutely every time. This only happens if a certain condition is met. So I'm going to drag in this if and pop it inside this player on A button pressed. So I'm just going to show you that again, just in case everyone's not used these before. Inside logic, this very first one called a conditional statement, and I've dragged that in and popped it inside this section here. So what we're going to do now is we need to put in here. This is called a Boolean. I quite like saying the word Boolean. It's quite a fun word to say, but basically Booleans are either true or false. So what we can do is we can kind of say, and I think that's what Ty was saying, is the character hitting a wall or hitting the floor and things like that when it's doing it. And the way that I've gone about doing it is if we go into scene and we go a little bit further down, is my sprite hitting wall, and at the moment it says left. So what I'm going to do is drag this one in, and you can see that it's spiky, so it matches like the true, and I'm going to drag this inside the true, and it's come up with the error. So straight away I'm going to change that error to this variable, sorry, to Sean. And I'm going to make sure I have to change this hitting wall left to hitting wall bottom. So that sounds very similar to what you were saying there, Ian. So I'm guessing you might have been very similar. There might be a slightly different way of doing it with the same results. Let's just check to see if this actually works now on my game. So, oh no, I can't. I can no longer cheat and just press that button all the time and get flying up there. So I got 10 points then as my car was hurtling towards me. But yes, that's it. So we've got it so that we've fixed the double jump. And that is my one player game sorted. So that's not too bad. Let's see how many points I can get. There you go. Yeah. So again, I could go about this and change it, and I could keep going. And what I'm going to do is, that one was close. Yeah, I'm going to stop that one there. I could keep going with that, and that's quite a nice little one-player game. But what we want to do is change this into a two-player game. So there's quite a nice little break for me to be able to start again with adding my second player. But I think that this might be a good time then just to check any questions about that, making sure everyone's on the right point. Do you think that was the main thing, Ian, that people were talking about, the double jump in there, or was there anything else anyone was asking about?
There's some people that have been struggling with the tiles like you did.
Yeah.
Other than the usual go-tos of just closing any of the tabs and
maybe
saving, restarting your browser, that kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe a restart of the browser. There shouldn't be any reason for it not to work. A tile map with inside there. As you saw with mine, I even had it in there. So maybe just even a potentially restart of the device and things like that if it gets to that point. But it should work. There shouldn't be any kind of errors coming up. But I appreciate that. That is just one of those issues that it seems to be a little bit buggy with it. As I had it 2 weeks in a row now when I've gone to show it, but didn't have it when I was prepping at all. So it's interesting. There must be something that's triggering it behind the scenes.
Tiger's just we've had some people suggesting how they did it, which is cool to kind of go through. So Tiger said, how I did it is I used the block just under the hitting wall. I used the tile under player is the road block.
Yeah, I see what he did. Yeah, so just for anyone that's interested in that, if I throw my screen up there, Tig used this one. So with this one, you can change it to. So all you would need to do with this one is change this one to below, change this one to the name of your character, and this one to the road, and that would do it. Yeah, and so as you say, Ian, it's really interesting seeing there's not just one way to get things done. There's lots of different ways around it. That would definitely work. Yeah. So
we've got one from Natalia.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. They are hitting the floor in an if block. Does that make sense?
That's. I think that is what I've got on mine. I think that she might have done it the same way of me. It is an if block. Yeah, that might be the same way as me. The other way that you could possibly do it is looking at the X and Y values of your character. So we're doing this kind of like in the scene in the tile map now. You might be able to do it as well by using X values and things like that. So if my character is above X equals 80 or so forth and so forth. I'd have to go into the maths of that one and figure that out. But there's probably quite a few different ways of doing it. But as long as yours is working, that's the main thing. This is the way that I did it. I think it's quite neat and tidy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make this into a two-player game. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to need another character. So who better than to make another character of than my esteemed colleague running all the button and the wizardry behind that. I'm going to put Ian in this game as well. So, but we're not going to go. We're actually going to have one of my favorite types of two-player games. We're going to play a co-op. So rather than it being player A versus player B, we're going to play together. And so the way that I'm going to run my game is that we're both trying to get points. And if any of us fails, we both fail. So rather than it being one player versus another player, in my game, we've got to work together to be able to complete the game. So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is make a new sprite. So rather than starting from scratch, I'm just going to actually duplicate my Sean one, So all I need to do that is right click on it and duplicate it, and it pops a new one here. I'd already created the variable for Ian before, but what I'm going to do is we want to make sure that we've got a different name. So you can add a new variable. I had already made an Ian before on mine, so I've just got it here already. But if you wanted to rename it and type someone's new name in, that's fine. But I'm going to use my pre-made Ian, and I'm going to redesign my Sean to be an Ian. So Ian is not got a beard at the moment, so let's get rid of this ginger beard here for Ian.
Does that help?
Yeah, let's have a quick look.
That way around.
Let's get rid of this.
I never knew I was going to be a life model today.
Yeah. It's not, your fee's not going up. That looks pretty good. I might give Ian a nose as well. There you go.
Only 1 pixel. I've had some work done.
So that's my Ian. So nice and simple design. Obviously, you guys can take as long as you want when you're doing these. So maybe just drag one in or change it slightly so you can tell the difference between them to begin with. I'm going to carry on. So got it quick. So Ian, I'm hoping he'll be somewhere in the middle of my screen if I refresh this. There he is. Yeah. Oh dear. Ian's in the middle of my screen, and what I'm going to need to do actually is I want to give Ian his own road. So as well as my road, I'm going to give Ian his own road just above me. So I'm going to click on this one, my tile map, and I'm going to draw in another road. So just across the middle there. So that gives me 1, 2, 3 jumps for mine. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to draw a wall in this one again so that Ian doesn't fall through this road. So drawn in a wall here for Ian's, and I want Ian to appear in the bottom left of this one. So that's this one here. So I can see there that is 0, 2. So 0, 2 is what I'm going to pop in when I choose where he starts up. So I'm going to click done there. And a lot of this now is actually just copying what's already in place, but duplicating it for Ian. So where I see my place Sean, I'm going to duplicate this and drag another place in there. And I'm going to change this one to Ian. And I'm going to change this one to 0, 2. And let's just see if that works out there. Let's have a refresh. There he is. He's in the right place. I can see now. There he is. That's where I want him to be. And I'm going to go through the same process of making Ian be able to jump. So I'm going to drag this down a little bit because that's going to get bigger. In fact, I'll move it over here so that it's not getting any bigger. I'm going to duplicate this acceleration. So Ian's going to need some gravity as well. So right click on it and duplicate. You could, if you wanted to, drag these all out from the right hand side again and set them all up. But because we're literally running the same type of data on both characters, you can really easily just right click and duplicate, and it just saves you a bit of time as you're going through it. So now I've got the gravity the same for Ian. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually a little bit different. We've not come across this yet before, but I'm going to need to have something similar to this to make Ian be able to jump and make sure that he can only jump once when he's hitting the ground. So I'm going to use similar stuff in this section, but I can't just use this A button, because if I just use the A button, then both characters would jump at the same time, and I don't want that. I want it to be different controls. So what I have to do is go into the controller settings, and if we go a little bit further down, we can see that they've got these multiplayer options here. So we can see that I've got on player 2, and if I drag this in, so I'm going to use this on player 2 A button pressed, and you can actually see that you can actually go up to multiple players, so it doesn't actually just stop on 1 or 2, but we're going to keep it nice and simple today. We're going to keep it on 2. And I guess actually just before we do this, it's a good time to kind of mention how you play your 2 players in your game. So The way that we're going to be running it today is you can actually split your keyboard on your computer in half. So one person controls a certain set of buttons where another player controls another set of buttons. So you can play your 2-player game with anyone you're in the same household with. Just remember social distancing. If you're not from the same household, I wouldn't recommend this at the moment. If you have one of these fancy Kitronic arcade devices, you can actually buy a little cable that just connects them together so that you can play multiple of them at the same time. So you'll have one person controlling their device, another player controlling their device, and they just plug into each other and they can see each other and you can play along together with them. Really cool. And I think that's a feature on all the gamepads that come out, so that's quite nice. It's not a kind of online multiplayer, so you can't have kind of 2 people from different households playing it at the same time. You've got to kind of be a bit more old school. You've both got to be in the same room. That is how I spent my youth. Nintendo 64 GoldenEye type setup, where you're all sat around trying to play the same game together, which is plenty of fun. So now I've got my on player 2 A button pressed. We're going to have to drag in the information that helps us jump. So I'm going to right click, but I'm just going to right click on the if statement, not this A button. Duplicate. And I'm going to drag this in here. And again, you've guessed it, I'm sure. What we're going to do is we're going to change it from Sean to Ian. And then I'm going to set Sean's velocity. Ian's velocity, sorry, change it from Sean to Ian. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to make my game big, because something that we want to be able to do is test that Ian can jump. So I'm going to make this big so that we can test it. So at the moment, I've not got anything flying at Ian. Everything's still flying just at me. We can see that car there, desperate to get me. But you might be wondering how you control your second player when you've got them on the game. So if we click on this icon here, which is like a little keyboard, it says our information here. So it says player 1. And so with player 1, you can actually use the arrow keys, or W, S, A, and D. That was, again, old school PCing, when you'd have your mouse to the right side. So you'd use them with your left hand and your mouse normally with your right hand to be able to do it. And you can use space or Z as your A button, X or enter as your B button for 1 player. But with your 2 player, it's I, K, J and L for your left and right, but the one that we're interested in, because we're just using the A button, is actually U, so the U button. So if you're playing this with someone else, Sean, in my game, I'll be able to jump by using the space button or the Z button, and my player 2, Ian, would jump using the U button instead of the A. So let's have a quick play of that and just see if that works. I'm going to refresh it because I think a car's about to mow Sean down there. So hey, so I'm going to jump this time with Sean, this time with Ian. There you go. You can control them independently from each other. I'm going to get rid of that on the screen because that's not helping me out at all. Ian's got a bit of an easy ride of it there, though, at the moment. Not a very busy road at all there where Ian is. So let me get rid of that, and let's get back to our coding and make it so that we've got projectiles coming at Ian as well. So we set our projectiles up here. That's where I put them anyway, on the on-game update every 2 seconds. So what I'm going to do, you guessed it, right click and duplicate this one. And I'm actually going to change the car so that we've got a different projectile going at Ian. And I know now we've got cars, so I'm going to go right down to the bottom of these, waiting for it to load. You could use bad guys or all sorts of stuff in there. You got a question there, Ian?
Yeah, just while you're doing that, I wonder if that will make a good time. Somebody's asked a question about if they're doing it on an iPad. Obviously, you haven't got maybe a keyboard there. I'm assuming that they've still got that keyboard icon that they can press and.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, in fact, I can tell you, I've got my iPad here with a game loaded up on it, so I will. Zoom out and just check. Oh no, actually you can't see. That is a good question. You can't actually see the keyboard icon on the iPad when you're playing it. So it might be that you'd have to load it up on a computer to be able to play the multiplayer, because you've not got the keyboard that you can share. Because when you're using it on an iPad, you're very much using the screen to press the buttons. Good point. hadn't really thought about that, but yeah. So what you can do though, if you publish your game at the end, which we will do, if you open it up on a computer, it doesn't matter that you've made it on a iPad, it would still work as a 2-player game on a computer as you're doing it. So Ian, choice, would you like a pink or a blue car?
I get to choose the car that's going to
choose
try
a
and
car,
run me over?
yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Hang on then, let's just have a look.
I say blue, it could be, is that greeny blue? Teal?
A teal.
Teal
Yeah, go
car?
on then, we'll go for that.
Teal? Alright, lovely.
And it's also worth a little shout out if I've just got a quick second there,
Yeah,
Sean.
yeah, go in.
You'll like this one. This is from Paul Aiden, who started up the hashtag MakoBros. So maybe we should copyright that, I think. It's like not quite Mario, but Mako, and kind of side-scrolling, retro.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit like another game that we know, doesn't it? But
Paul is from Darsby SciTech, and I was actually in a meeting with those this week, and they were telling me about some of the amazing projects that they are running with young people throughout the school holidays, with schools and things like that. So I'm sure that some young people from the local area, they might have been doing some stuff with them. And he was even saying that they had a Mako Sunday at their house at the weekend, where they were combining coding and crafting and basically just having a good time being creative. And so if any young people that you're working with on this code continue to do it outside of here, we always love to hear that we're helping inspire people, even if it's trying something completely different to what we've done here. We always love receiving videos and bits and bobs of showing us what people are getting up to and being creative. It really inspires us to keep doing these projects and making sure that we know that there are people out there that want to do them. So now that I've got Ian's car in place, I've just got to make sure that it's starting in the right place. So I'm going to go back again to my tile map, and I want it to start just here. So again, I'm checking it down there, and it is on 9.2, so that's fine. So I'm going to duplicate this section here. A lot of duplicating in this project today. And it was 9.2, I believe, that I wanted to get that to start from. 9.2, and then I have got it now, hopefully, so that we have got these going together. So let's have a quick play of my game. Oh, let's see if I make this big, give it a refresh, and I'm going to press space and U at the same time. Hey, look at that. MakoBros. So it's a bit easy at the moment because I'm kind of just pressing the U and the I button at the same time. I'm saying it's easy as I fail it. Can anyone think of anything that we could do to make it a little bit more challenging? Oh, I'll put that question out there to you. I've got a plan for what I want to do so that we're not just pressing the button at the same time. I'm playing this 2-player on my own at the moment, and a 2-player on your own shouldn't be easy. What we were just talking about is how we can make this game a little bit more challenging than it was at the moment. Let's press that play button and let's have a quick go at it. At the moment, both of our cars are coming at us at the same time. I think these must be minis because they're a bit smaller than us. So we were talking about how we could potentially make this game more challenging, because we are just jumping over these cars like it's nobody's business, no problem whatsoever. Let's put that stop. Oh, just stopped it just too late, just died. We were asking if there was any people could come up with anything that could make it a little bit more challenging. I'm guessing that we didn't get any responses through if people couldn't hear me asking that question.
No, we had audio before that.
Oh,
just
fantastic.
1 second. Make 50 chance it will go on the top or the bottom one is one. One
oh, okay, yeah. So it doesn't go on both each time. Yeah. That could be that. You could do that using an if statement. Yeah.
Tigers suggested randomize when they come in or the speed.
Yes. Well done. That's a good one. I'm gonna use that one. There's loads that we could do with this. There's absolutely loads. We could look at changing how high the characters jump. We could look at the speed of the cars. We could randomize which one they were coming out at. We could change it so there's other things flying across that we've got to try and avoid as well. There's loads of things we could do, but we could be here all day doing that. So I'm just going to show you one more thing to make our games a little bit more challenging or a little bit more of an interesting thing to do. So I jumped into maths there, and then scroll down, and I'm going to use this pick random block, and I'm going to drag that into my projectile here where it says -100. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it so that my car could be slower or faster. So minus 100. So I guess that, and if I make it so that if it was, pick between maybe minus 200. So that'd be twice as fast as we're going across at the moment, or minus 50. And I'm going to duplicate that and pop it in your one as well, so you've not got it easier than me. And then I'll make it big, and I'll see if this is harder to play now. All right. Oh, I got through the first round. Yeah. So now, that 200 was really quick. I'm gonna give it another go. What did I get then? 30. Let's give it another go. It's definitely harder. I think 200 might be too much. I'm going to go back to my coding, and I'm going to let's have a look. Change that down. I think I went too hard with 200. I'm going to change it down to 150. But your games, you can put in here whatever numbers you want it to be. But I think that makes it a little bit funner, because you just don't know. You're not pressing the buttons at the same time. You don't know how fast the next car is going to come out at you. Or whatever obstacle you put in there. So I'm going to give that another go now. Let's make that. Let's give this a go. See how this works. Oh, yes. No, too early. Brilliant. Okay, so as I was saying, there's loads of different things that you can put into your game to make it more interesting, to make it harder, to make it more difficult. We could have lives in there, so it's not just game over. We could have a different way of point scoring. You could even look at it a way that me and Ian have got to work together on this game to do it. You could have it so it's versus each other. So there's different amounts of points depending on how far you get. And it might not be that it's game over when you hit a car. It might be that the other player gets to continue. But that'll be some serious coding to get that type of thing going on. But we'll wait for you guys to submit your games this week, and we'll see what everyone else came up with and how we got on with doing it. Now that we've got that, let's have a quick look at sharing our game. So as usual, to share our games or to publish it, we go into the share section here, which is in the top corner, and we can rename our game. So I know that mine, I don't watch, maybe Car Jumper, something like that. Car Jumper. Oop, Clumper. Jumper. I might just put in brackets 2-player, so people know when they're loading it up. I might have in the I might want to put some instructions in there, kind of saying how to play it and things like that. So you could have a splash screen or the big text that we've done in some of the other ones. But I'm going to keep it quite simple for this one and publish my game. So by publishing the game, we get our code as per usual that we can use to share with our friends, family, send that out there, get it on social media, all sorts of places. But it's also the link that we use when we are submitting our games to us. Just before we go to that, Nikki, did you manage to send your game through to us for us to have a play through of?
Just sent it through now.
Just sent it through now. All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll let Ian have a think, see if he can get that up for us and send it over. But while Ian's working on that, I'll go and have a look at how you can submit a game to us. So if you've not done it before and this is your first time doing it, to submit a game to us, what you do is jump onto our website. Our website is MakoCreate.co.uk. And inside our projects page, this bit is slightly different now because we've got a new project that I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But we just need to make sure that we don't click on the wrong project when we're going in there. So this project that we've been working on, oh, it's our last day of doing it. Let me accept that and let's jump onto this one. I think I've accepted that, but it's not loaded it up. This is what we've been working on here, which is the second one down, so not this one. Oh, that was cancelled. This second one here. So all we need to do is to click on this one. So computer games coding 5-week free live workshops. And as that is loading up, we can see this. So if anyone's ever wanting to go back and check out any of the other weeks, so if this is your first time with us, we've got 4 other sessions that you can take part in, and these are all on our website here. You can go back on them, or if there was something that was not something that you wanted to recover again, you can go back and you can have a look at it. We put in our games up there, our finished games, so you can have a play of them, mine and Nikki's and stuff. Loads of different things that we can do. We also started putting the winning game up there as well, which is quite cool on some of the other ones. And then we scroll all the way down to week 5, which is at the bottom. I could start watching this live stream now, but I feel like that might open some kind of black hole of me watching me, with you guys watching me watch me. So what we can do is scroll a little bit further, and we've got our expansion pack sessions, which run on Monday. So if you've enjoyed it and you want to carry on doing a little bit more, you can check out that there, but I'll come back to that in a little bit. And what we've got here is our way to submit a game. So to submit your games to us, we need to have them before Sunday, the 21st of June. That gives us a couple of days to have a play through them before our live stream. Oh, we're not going live next week. Oh no, nightmare. But before we announce it anyway, it gives us a couple of days before we announce it. We'll announce it on Wednesdays, as we always do, for the last one. And it says here it'll be announced on our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram pages. So please go and give us a follow on them if you've not done it already. And we just click this button here to submit a game. And inside this section, we have the maker's name, so the young person's name or the older person's name that's made it, your age, postcode, and an email address. If the person who has created the game is under 18, we need to have a parent or guardian's email address so that we can contact them to let them know if they've won. And last but not least, the most important thing is our game URL. So that is coming from this section here. When we've published our game, we need to copy that and pop that into this section here, and then click submit when we've got it up there and we're able to do it. And that is how we can submit a game. I've seen Ian, you've had a quick go there, sending me that link a couple of times, but it's just not working. It's just not coming through, unfortunately, inside there. So Ian, if you just have a quick, if there's any questions or anything like that, I can have a quick look at seeing if I can get it from the email myself and loading it up that way.
I haven't got any questions lined up just yet. Some people still struggling with the whole Sprite thing and getting that, the tile map and getting that error that you had, Sean. It's not something that we're 100% sure on exactly what is causing that, but we'll tell you what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of digging around and seeing that's a common issue. It seems to be common, at least with us in our sessions. So we'll do a little bit of digging and seeing if there's a fix for that, if there's a definite problem, and then we'll post that on Facebook and maybe even on our website just to say if this occurs, then check this and this. So bear with us with that.
Definitely, there's a kind of a support group, because it's Microsoft that make this website and this code, and by their own admission, it's a relatively new service. I think they were kind of launching it late last year, so it's not even a year old, I don't think. So relatively new service, and they are kind of updating it and changing it as we're going along and stuff. So occasionally you do get the odd bit and bob, but I can't complain too much because it's such a great service that, and you get it for free, but we will definitely be contacting them and making sure we can get an issue with it. So we've got up here now, I have managed to get load up Nikki's game. So Nikki was telling us that this is a Harry Potter themed game. We've got Ron and is Ron and Hermione, or Ron and let's have a quick look. See, oh, it looks like Ron
and Harry.
Top and Harry. This is hard. I got 20 points there. Let's see if I can get different gate. So your ghosts are quite big on this one, Nikki. I think if I was redesigning this one, what I think I might do is I might make my leaps a little bit bigger. So I might make gravity a little less strong, or I might give a little bit more velocity on it, or I might even go in and edit my ghosts so they're a little bit smaller and a little bit easy to go to jump over. But fantastic game, fantastic theme. You can definitely tell who's who, can't you? Different colour hair and outfits. Fantastic.
Can you play it again real quick?
Yeah, no problem. So let's play this again. So let's give it a refresh and jump. Rubbish. We'll post Nikki's code and my code on the finished one on our website, so you can have a look at our finished code and have a go at playing it. So you might actually want to use one of these and go, do you know what, I really like that as a concept. I'm going to go in there and borrow Nikki's code. I'm going to go in there and borrow some of Sean's code from today. So don't worry too much if there's anything that's not quite working. We'll post our finished code on our website so that you can steal it and edit it as much as you like. And yeah, get it going. So without further ado, I think we're up to announcing this week's winner, aren't we? I think
the comments are going wild. Who won? So I think everybody's ready to find out. I'm sure.
Okay, so today's winner was Rupert Robinson. Rupert Warrington, well done. You designed a platformer using Corgio, and it was brilliant. We loved the story behind it. I'm going to see really quickly if I can get it up. I had it up before, but I closed it real quickly because we had, I didn't know if that was one of the things that was causing an issue with my tile map. So I've just brought it up again here. Here it is loading up. And we absolutely loved it. You used all the elements that we looked at when we were going through our story, and it was really interesting that we had to go through different levels. We had things disappearing, reappearing, and it really helped us take us on a journey. So I think it's called Doggy Go Go. So let's have a quick play on it. So we press that A button. Hello. There have been 3 disasters. Your job is to solve the 3 disasters. Good luck, these 3 disasters. Okay, so my name. So let's get Sean in there. I'll not be lazy and put A like I sometimes do. I'll actually put my name in there. Okay, first mission, to find dog's missing ball. Don't fall into the lava, otherwise the game is over. If you collect the chest, then it will delete the lava and show the ball once you've collected the ball, and the dog will tell you where to find the next level. Good luck, Sean. Thank you very much. Let's have a go. Okay, so I can't touch that lava, otherwise it'll be game over. So let's see. I'm guessing I have to try and jump up here. Yes. And where's the ball? Oh, can't jump over that way. Go underneath. Oh, fantastic. New level. The next level is just around the corner. If you give a hand a high five by hitting it, then you'll take you to the next level. Good luck, Sean. All right, let's go. Oh, onto the second mission. Got to get the underwater princess. Go for the lava again. You collect the chest. A dog. Okay. 3 underwater princess. Make sure that. So what we'll do as well is we'll post this game on the on our website so that you guys are able to play along with it. Oh, I like that. Got the. Yes. Haha. And you can have a quick go at it yourself and get all the way through it and see how far you can get with the game as well. I'm nearly at the last level now though, so I'm going to see if I can just complete it.
Looks really cool, that. And you got to remember that the last week's was all about storytelling, and that's what we wanted you guys to focus on. So the whole thing about being explained what's happening and being taken on a journey, I think this game's really done a good job at that, rather than just usual start, get to the end. We're being told exactly what's happening there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, so I have the last section. I've got a time limit as well. So there's a lot of levels in this. So it really must have taken a long time to put all this together. This is a bit like the maze section that we had the other day. Really well done. Yes, I've completed it. Well done. So fantastic job, Rupert. Brilliant game. Really enjoyed playing it. It was Jack this week that chose the winner, so well done to Jack for going through everyone's workshops and finding his favourite one. He was saying there was loads and loads and loads of great entries, so absolutely well done to everyone that submitted a game. Rupert will be in contact to send you over one of these awesome Kicktronic arcades. I guess just before we get to the end of this, just to say a massive thank you to Kicktronic, who donated these free of charge to us to be able to give out to people at the end of every session. So don't worry if you've not got one. They are really cool, and as you say, maybe potentially something for a Christmas, birthday present, and things like that in the future if you want to. Can't recommend Kicktronic enough. They've been absolutely awesome in helping us put these projects together and providing prizes for everyone to have a chance of winning as we have been going on there. So well done to Rupert for that. That was absolutely fantastic. Cool. So although this is the last live stream. So the last time it's going out, there is one last chance to get to see us as part of this project. We are going to be running an expansion pack session on Monday, so anyone that that's been on them before will know, but if you've not been on them, we do a Zoom call where you work with myself and Paul for an hour, and we work on these games and get them to the next level. We call it the expansion pack, but we can look at all them different things that we're talking about, making our project even more challenging or even more interesting. Maybe there's different levels, maybe there's ways that we can make it so that it's more interactive and more fun and different ways of doing it. If you were interested in purchasing a ticket to the expansion pack, just on the website where you normally submit your games, you can go down to our expansion pack section here just above submitting a game and click on buy tickets, and that will take you through to Eventbrite where you're able to purchase a ticket. I believe the tickets are £10 plus booking fee, brings it to about £11, that is, yeah. So you just select the last date and click on buy a ticket, and you get sent all the links and everything to join us live. It's fantastic, it's fun, we get to play each other's games, we get to ask you get to ask me and Paul questions so we can answer it. So anything that you're really interested in knowing and having a chat about, we can do that during the sessions as well. One last thing, I guess, before moving on from that, is that we would love. We've had so many amazing comments in these projects about how much people have enjoyed it, how much young people have enjoyed it, and where they've gone. And although we absolutely love reading these comments, the problem with them sometimes is that we'll see them, they're brilliant, and then they just kind of disappear and kind of go away, and we don't see them again. If anyone's really enjoyed even just one of the sessions, but if you've enjoyed multiple of them, we'd love it if people could go onto our Facebook page and give us a review. It's really easy to do. If you find the MakoCreate page, which Ian's just put on there, so it's facebook.com/MakoCreate UK, or if you just search for MakoCreate on there, it'll bring up our page, and it's just on the left hand side of the screen. There's a review section, and oops, I pressed photos. Review section, and it just brings you to a review page, and it's really easy. You can just click on these sections here and add a new one in, and we love getting reviews. It really helps us show other people and spread the word about our projects and things like that. So if anyone has a couple of minutes spare, we'd love to see these cool comments that you've been saying about us as a review. It just really helps us let other people know about the project and spread the word about these interesting things that we're doing. One last pitch, I guess, before we get out of here, which is about a brand new project that we've got coming up. So we've got a brand new project which is all part of Halton Short Breaks. This is a little bit different to these, whereas we do these live streams and they go out to absolutely everyone. Halton Short Breaks is a fantastic project which helps us run these types of interesting activities to young people from Halton with disabilities or different abilities. It's a great opportunity for us to be able to work with families and provide them a little short break. So if you know any young people from Halton that have different abilities or need additional needs and things like that, they might be suitable for our short breaks provision. On our website under projects, now in the top left hand corner of it, that's why we had to change the way that we get to this one. We've got this project here with all the details. So if you think you know anyone that might be interested in this, we've only got 10 places on the project, so that's completely free of charge. So if you think you know anyone that might be suitable for it, please let them know or tell us about it and we can send them out to them. It's got all the different criteria that you might need to fulfill to take part in the short breaks, and what we need to do is just to click the apply here button and tell us a little bit of information, and we can get you signed up and sorted out for the short break provision. Cool. All right, Ian, have I missed anything out there?
No, you've done a pretty good job. Well done. I guess just thank you, and for those of you that haven't got Facebook, we've put those links for the Facebook reviews page there, so just click on that, leave us a quick review. Like Sean said, that's amazing. But if you're not on Facebook, just show us love across all of our social networks. So for everybody who's watching us on YouTube, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, just any positive vibes we love, and it just lets more and more people know about what we are doing and who we are. And the more people that we get, the more like we are to be able to do more stuff like this in the future. So
yeah, this is unfortunately the last live stream from this project. But if you can't get enough of Mako, do not worry. We will be back. We're going to give ourselves a couple of weeks off from doing the live streams, but we will be back with another project. And what we want you guys to do is just keep tuned on our social media and things like that for what we'll have an announcement probably next week with what we're going to be doing and where we're going to be coming back and what time it's going to be and things like that. So don't worry, this isn't the end. We're going to be coming back and we're going to be doing some more super cool creative projects with you, but you have to wait to see what we're going to do next. It's exciting. We're gonna, don't worry, I'm sure it's going to be just as exciting as this one and just as fun. But yeah, we can't wait to see you all in the next project. Thank you so much for being part of this project and for submitting your games. As I say, one last push for the expansion pack that's on Monday, and we will be posting out the winners next week. So please do send us your games from this week. We love seeing them. And yeah, thank you so much for being part of it. I guess just one last thank you to Halton Libraries, who was our partner in this project. Without them, this project would never have happened. So thank you to Nikki and all Halton Libraries team. It's been awesome getting to work with you and getting to see the games that you've produced, Nikki.
I had a great time. Thank you very much to Sean and Ian. You've been wonderful.
No problem. Okay, everyone. See you soon and have a fantastic day. Take care. See you later.